Hey everybody, clearing. Okay, so today I'm just gonna do a fairly quick intro and then get into a nice in-depth reading on the connection. But let's see for each counterpart, what is the energetic aspect or influence from the other? So masculines saying to the feminines, Chamber of Teleportation, Journey, Exchange, Transference. I'm really hearing that they're picking up on the journey. They're seeing the correlations, the signs, the synchronicities in their own way. Things are speaking meaning to them about your connection, about the way that there is a transference between the two. What do you need to know about this? How is that? Clarify it. How is that emerging? Okay, it's causing them to want to hold off on reunion, but also prepare for reunion. So sometimes when we're in these periods of silence or distance, the transference is from a pure soul level. And if we meet up in the physical, we lose that aspect that is a pure soul experience. Mundane relationships, we don't consider the energetics and the soul level stuff, but the masculines are very much being awakened, opened, deepened in those kinds of themes right now. Then we get the Prince of Wands and the Five of Cups. So there is a grieving energy and a passionate energy here. It's in between worlds. I'm just getting that the masculines are grieving what has not been able to happen in this connection, the things that have happened that haven't been a fit in other connections. They're looking at their passion, they're looking at the hot and cold, they're looking at the back and forth. They're sorting it. They are adjusting their understanding of what has happened in their life. It could be like a life review, but it feels like more of a preparation to see you again, to make sense of what's going on so that they can communicate when they meet up with you or talk with you again. But they're being very honest about how this connection I just heard has set itself apart from other connections. They can't unsee what they now see because of your connection. So what would they say to you, Divine Feminines, about this? I just want space. So right now, they definitely need space to come to these awarenesses. They don't necessarily want to be enmeshed or too close for comfort right now. They know that there is a transference. They want this spaciousness between you so they can see it objectively right now. Okay, so don't feel like you're being rejected. They're actually intrigued, interested, fascinated by this at a distance kind of energy. So don't push it. Don't be in fear, Divine Feminines. Okay, and Divine Masculines, what would your Divine Feminine say to you about or want to express about this stage of the journey? Seal of Venus, elemental magic, self-love, and protection. So your feminine knows that the connection is protected. They want you to feel safe with them, that your heart is safe, and to know that your feminine is in a bubble of self-love right now. We also get harmonic oscillator, timing, rhythm, synchronization, and frequency. So a lot of music, motion, the pulse, the heartbeat of the connection. Your feminine is paying attention to when things sync up, what it feels like to be autonomous. There's this near and far kind of an energy, the frequencies. Your feminine is seeing things in terms of frequencies and resonances and matches and alignments, more and more so. And when that flow, that ebb and flow is, I'm hearing perfect pitch. So the harmonics, the resonance, when it's in perfect orchestration, how there is a balance in the universe, in the cosmos. And galactic transporter, adventure, exploration, and discovery. So your feminine is feeling like there has been autonomous adventure, exploration, looking at the harmonics, the resonant frequencies around them, in them, how they have been evolving, how your feminine has been evolving, the way they're picking up on energies around them, the reflection of themselves, the response within themselves based on those energies around. What would your feminine, or what do you need to know about that, masculines? About the messages that just came through. Okay, we are getting 10 of Cups and Love, so 12 out of 10, 2 and 10. But your feminine wants you to know that you are their choice, that they love you so much, that they see it all, that they're looking around and looking for what they're compatible with, what they resonate with. They have not been able to find better. This love remains intact in their heart as a priority. As they're out in this adventure, they are sending you nothing but love, I just heard. And continuing to manifest through daydreaming about what could be possible here. What can we see that the feminines would say to you, masculines, about the messages that have just come through? We are getting time to ground yourself. So yeah, feminines are realizing that they've had these airy-fairy ideals floating around about what they think that they've wanted or what they've thought they've been ready for, and they're really seeing how it's more of an embodiment. It's a much more grounded thing. It's a much more stabilized thing. It's not an intangible energy out there. It's partly how they feel at any given time, how their mood is, how they feel physically, if they're in ease, what is their frequency, what are they emitting, what are they being surrounded by, what are they putting themselves into proximity with, all of that. So the feminine knows it's time to ground themselves, and there is this waves of recognition of real life about to start, of the real deal, of, I'm hearing with that 10 of Cups, the family life, the children, the home situation, that whatever the feminines have going on right now, they are realizing that they're not going to be single forever, that this is a homecoming, that they will have experiences that are going to ground this connection. And the reality of that is sinking in, that they are preparing to come home, be at home with you, masculines. Okay, let's look at what's going on in the connections emotionally or energetically. I'm also going to look at the intimacy, that the erotic tarot, and see what the connections are doing on all the levels, the usual, what are we conscious of, what are we feeling on the heart space, all of those things. I'm also going to look at how these energies might be manifesting in the material realm, in the lives of the counterparts, and any advice to further connect with the energies. So thank you, Divine Creator. What can we see for the twins that join me here? What are the current energies up for consideration on the conscious mind, on the heart space, manifestation, wishes, actions, challenges, solutions, and direction? And what kind of hints can we get that these things are playing out in the lives and in the realities of my viewers, and some advice for how to navigate at this time? Okay, so energetically, time. So on the conscious mind, we've got time. The energy of time supports our understanding of the relativity of time and our capacity to be present in the moment. Okay, so this is that spaciousness, the distance or the silence, and being present with or without the person in our physical proximity. Relationships are not just navigated when you're up close and personal. They are also upheld and honored and cherished at a distance. And so if we can't be in that grounded wholeness apart, we aren't truly in that grounded wholeness together. And there is something about these connections standing the test of time through a varying set of circumstances that we are discovering on this journey. What is the intimacy on the conscious mind? Okay, we're getting death in the reverse. So this marks the end of certain cycles. Let's see. Be honest and take all the time you need. Notice and appreciate the small sparks of life. Don't fear the little death of orgasm. So that speaks of lust versus long-term life partnership. And this, you know, the hot and cold, or the temporary, or the intensity. So we're moving into the grounding of these connections, out of the intensity, the volatility, and we're learning that they are very loud. There's that plane again. We're learning that these connections transcend the bubble love phase, or the honeymoon phase, or the lust, the chemistry, that they are more than that, that they are holistic, that they are not just when we're in each other's proximity, they are even when we're apart. What can we see for how this could be showing up with the connection in the realities right now? We get the Queen of Swords in the reverse. So this can mean that we're not really talking about these things, or that by contrast, we're seeing misguided opinions. This is my karmic feminine card. So I'm really getting with these messages of standing the test of time and being honoring and validating and resonating in the frequency of these energies at a distance with spaciousness, that these karmic ways of criticizing what might be going on, or if people aren't in contact, or if there is silence or unusual ways of communicating, or multidimensional communication, that a karmic sort of fragile energy would say, oh, the love isn't here, go the other way. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. Those are kinds of things I'm hearing. So you might start to see, twins, people in your reality talking in those ways, and it might just feel very surreal to you that people are still skeptics of energetic connection or real connection, that people are still talking that way and so narrow-minded or limited that they aren't able to validate anything that's not just right in front of their eyes. This is a card of perception, of firsthand experience. And so there are a lot of people around the counterparts right now that don't know what they're talking about. So be mindful of that, that you have become such a specialist, twins, that these naysayers or petty people are really standing out like sore thumbs now to the twins. So don't go into suffering based on what people say like that aren't qualified to tell you relationship advice at this stage of your development. What is the advice? Trust your energetic read. This is my card of telepathy, of being able to intuitively discern frequency at a distance. It's Cupid's love arrows, so trust the love. What can we see for the heart space? Presence. The energy of presence supports our ability to focus our full attention and stay in the here and now. So no more longing, pining, hurting, suffering when you're not physically with your person. This is about being present to wherever you are, grounding yourself, experiencing the full joy and adventure, exploration of wherever you find yourself, with or without your person. We are stabilizing these connections across the spectrums of dualities, and we're coming into unity consciousness. That means the polar opposites aren't rocking our boat more so than the other polar opposite. We're finding the harmony, we're finding the balance, we're finding the grounding, so that we can just be calm, cool, collected, and real, full on in love. What is this doing for the intimacy on the heart space. Ooh, Ace of Feathers. This is the truth. The heart knows, I just heard. Ace of Swords. It's going to be a huge, big win, a big plan, big love. You've got the right idea, so follow your instinct and be decisive. So be present. Just feel how whole you're becoming, twins. Feel how knowing, how fulfilled you are becoming, how excited, but how balanced you are. It's going to be a big love. So just keep trusting what your heart is telling you. There's this sort of truth on the heart, this light, feather-like knowing. It reminds me of a quote. I forget who said it. My mom used to say it all the time. It is, hope is that many-feathered thing that perches in the soul. And I'm getting that with this feather in the heart, that you're safe to start hoping, you know, beyond hope. Hope is something that lacks faith sometimes, but this is a knowing. So you're not crazy to let the reality of this love support you, even at a distance potentially. What can we see that's showing up in our reality that is in support of these? Oh my goodness, the Ace of Swords to clarify. So this presence, externally, internally, signs, synchronicities, you don't need anything external to tell you the truth of this. Trust it. You are no longer swayed by this petty, fearful stuff that might be said around you anymore. You're finding your own truth. You're knowing your own path. This is a beautiful thing because you're present now. You've come into these steps of mastery where you can trust what you know energetically, because that is your kung fu. You've become somebody that has the ability to read your own indicators of truth and to let that sink in deeply without questioning, without fear. Right, the original separation wound is healing. This is you coming into safety in a way that material realm constructs can't provide. This is soul level wholeness and safety that we're coming into. The knowledge of unity, of wholeness on the heart space. This is healing that separation, that forsaken feeling that we are removed from the divine love when we're in physical form. That's an illusion. Separation is an illusion. What can we see for the manifestations, the wishes? Union. Let's take a minute, everybody, and say yes. Yes to union. That's a 44. So this is orchestrated from behind the veil. The energy of union activates our ability to unite our outer and inner aspects towards a state of wholeness, right? So as within, so without. We've got this Ace of Swords in the heart space, and then we're now measuring everything we experience externally through that inner compass. That is a state of union, and so keep manifesting that. What is this doing for the intimacy and the connections? Ooh, the devil, it's anchoring it into the cellular structures, so that it's anchoring it into the quantum. This is Capricorn energy, but it's also the most physical, the most material card in the deck. It's the most of this dimension card we can get. And so that speaks to me of the deepest of integration here, that we are to continue to desire unity consciousness, union with the fabric of our being in this material realm. How is this showing up? Oh, presence. We get the card of presence. The Ace of Pentacles is my card of kindness, presence in the moment. So this is having our wits about us, beginner's eyes, being open, seeing truth, recognizing the grounding, the balancing. This is incredible energy. What can we see as advice? If you have any anxiety, any residue, any fallback energy from old fears, really allow for unity consciousness to come in and calibrate you in the direction of wholeness, in the direction of balance, of integration. I'm going to pull a clarifier. I'm being asked to get more information on that. What are many of my viewers struggling with that's causing this anxiety? What is the theme? That doesn't show up in a collective reading unless it's... Okay, first-hand wisdom. We've got create and wisdom. So trusting that you are not the crazy one, viewers, that the people, we just got those messages about the people around us being in lack of faith, in disbelief, in petty energy. So drop into the love. You're not the crazy one. What you are experiencing is ultimately bringing in huge balance and big love. Boundaries and seek. So, seek to have boundaries with the ways of the world that cause suffering and crazy making and cause you to be insecure and question yourself. Come back into sanity, into balance, into wholeness, into love, into trust, into belief. Don't align with the things that make you question yourself in a negative way, that make you feel insecure, or that criticize you or point out your flaws or condemn you. Gravitate towards, set healthy boundaries towards engaging with people who are wise and forward-thinking, progressive, love-filled, encouraging. So we're torn between worlds right now, and our anxiety has never been more effective in showing us how to align with higher frequencies and to remove our investment in anything that is fear-based and lower vibrational. So as we anchor union energies into the cellular structure, some of the anxieties that will come up are the purge from the DNA, from the cells that circulate around our body. So that's memories and emotions that have been trapped and holding patterns. So drink water. If you're getting in anxiety or other things like that right now, don't believe the hype. Allow those to move out. Salt baths, bare feet on the ground outside, releasing the anxiety, drinking water, self-care right now, because there are deep foundational layers, cellular layers being healed right now. What can we see for the actions that we are best guided to take? Transparency supports our expansion toward a higher vibrational state of being with more insight, honesty, and clarity, right? As we dump these muddied, outdated beliefs and programs, and we further remove ourselves from those lower vibrational fears, we're becoming more clear. Love is like a crystal clear bell. More insight, more honesty, more clarity is ours. What is this doing for the intimacy and the connections? Six of Roses. This is a card of reciprocity. This is where we can actually connect and give and receive based on that new level of integrity, honesty, clarity, and expression. Six of Roses. A recognition and reward that has been earned in some way. Relax and enjoy delights of giving and receiving. It all balances out. So yeah, as we come into transparency, this is also a 43 card, which is my self-love number. As we become more transparent with ourselves, misconceptions can be released and communication can flow. How is this showing up in the twin connections? There's public victory. So there's going to be outward acknowledgement. If the connections have been secret, there's going to be more or less guardedness. There's going to be more opportunity to be in public together in the same place at the same time. Some will have more recognition of the connection with peers and family, colleagues. but there is a victory here. Both are going to see that there has been progress, that there is more reciprocity coming in. When we speak from an honest place, we get an honest answer. What is it? Ask a stupid question and get a stupid answer. I don't want to say that's what's happening, but when we're not transparent, when we're not authentic, we don't get authentic answers. How can we? And it's not that we get a stupid answer or, that. It's just that it misses the mark. It's akin to sin, missing the mark. If we're authentic, if we are transparent, then the responses we get are more in alignment. What is the advice about this? Lovers, this higher love. Just heard we're getting there. We're winning. We're standing the test of time. We're starting to see the fruit of this perseverance in the name of this higher love. Like that has been the tow rope pulling us through this evolution of becoming more and more transparent, more authentic, more able to give and receive freely without guilt and shame, without agenda, for the joy, for the discovery, for the adventure, for the freedom. What is the biggest challenge in the connections right now? Oh, kindness. The energy of kindness reminds us to be considerate and wise in our interactions with others and ourselves, and to find the root of our love through connection to Source. So yeah, that just talks of connecting to Source as a primary connection, our own inner balance, and then others. When we're rooted in Source, we have that stability by which we can be kind to ourselves and others as a baseline for these interactions. So there is still a nudge to keep, don't go directly to your counterpart. They are not God in and of themselves. They are divine, but they are not the one that has credit above you or more value beyond your own worth. Tune into Source so you know your own wholeness, and then engage freely with your counterpart in that flow. What is this doing for intimacy? Two of Shells. So that's the Two of Cups in the reverse, which is, this says marriage. You might want to spend a bit more time beyond your bubble of two first. Appreciate your friendships. So this is talking about rushing into marriages. So for many, there is going to be immediate, things are going to move quickly. There's this concept of what is kinder. Now that we know that we love each other, now that we know that these higher timelines and templates are available. Oh my gosh, the grass is being cut now. All the things. There are other things to do, like fly the planes and mow the grass before we get married. This is saying, hold off on rushing into marriage and really enjoy community. Now that we've got this fearlessness or openness about these connections, more so in our friend groups and family and colleagues, it's time to just see that we're allowed to create a foundation. We're allowed to take it slow. We don't have to rush into certain rites of passage prematurely. How is this playing out? Yeah, autonomy. We're still anchoring the autonomy. So for many of these connections, they've gone through the testing, the development, and those things have proven the love. And now we're coming together in full acknowledgement of these connections and grounding out in the autonomy prior to rushing into the typical rites of passage that we go through, like marriage specifically. So it's an acclimating with community prior to marriage. What is the advice? Just keep shooting the eye of the needle, finding that sweet spot through the blockages or deal breakers or barriers or obstacles. Find these brain teaser solutions to everything you're facing Don't try and compensate by filling a void with anything right now. There is a win-win to be had no matter what. So yeah, this just speaks of a rapid growth curve with these connections coming into focus in community now. This is the first time this kind of message has really come in the 3 years that I've been reading. Okay, what can we see? Hopefully that's not too loud, my goodness. I'll try and do a sound barrier behind my camera. Hopefully that helps a tiny bit. Whoa. Okay, what is the solution to this kindness? Balance and the awakening. So balance says, the frequency of balance supports our ability to find harmony with all aspects of our three-dimensional and multidimensional layers of reality. So the solution is striking this balance, finding this balance in the new configuration. Now that these connections are becoming celebrated and known in community, it's finding new balance. It's just an adjustment period. So take advantage of this as a developmental adjustment period and revel in it, play with it, explore it, delight in it. Have potluck dinners together. The awakening. An angel calls two figures to new possibilities. A path is suddenly cleared. You can be awed by a new vision of your potential. There is no return once a good decision has been made, and its consequences can be far-reaching. Rise to the challenge of something that must happen, and the rewards are great. Honesty is liberating for everyone. So it does seem as though these connections are going to be exonerated, and there's going to be honesty into community on deep, deep levels that is going to be very informative to those who didn't know about these connections in the past. And it does look like bringing these connections into public knowledge is the good decision that is being talked about here. I'm reading the omen of the lawn mowing and how there's going to be a lot of buzz going on when these connections come out into the public knowledge, because many of them will look like they just happened overnight because people haven't known about them. But rest assured, they're going to ask questions, and this is how we can talk about how do we know these unlikely combinations are so right, good, and true. So what are the indicators in the physical that this is happening? The divine masculines are going to be in their empowerment. This is my King of Wands. The divine masculines are getting this higher download that it's time. The divine masculines are now coming out, bringing these connections out of hiding and into more public knowledge. I'm hearing that they have learned things about you, Divine Feminine, that have confirmed who you are to them with such confidence that they cannot hide these truths any longer. I'm just going to pull a couple clarifiers to understand more about that. What is it we can see? Karmic completion. Alchemy, metamorphosis, and karmic completion. So the masculines have seen you pass some sort of karmic rite of passage, Divine Feminine, where they've never seen a karmic feminine do what you've done. Something that you've done recently has exceeded the masculine's expectations or confirmed their greatest wish for you. Something that you've done through your own volition has proven how divine you are, is what I just heard. One more clarifier for that, please. Patience. I think this talks about this standing the test of time. The masculines realize that they have maxed out the amount of patience that's warranted to know who you are to them. What is the instruction here? There's nothing more to do, right? There's no more manipulating, testing, curiosity. The masculines now know. This is partly why they are the gatekeepers or the timekeepers in these connections and the rate of unfolding, is because they are tasked with understanding the divine timing and what markers need to be satiated in order for these connections to be safe to bring into public. When your divine masculine knows that you hold the love they need because of the way you carry yourself in the world and how you show up, that is when they have the confidence that the two can stand anything. And that is when they can bring you safely into their world, the world, as their counterpart. What is the direction of these connections in the near future? Intimacy. Supports us trusting that we are safe to allow closeness. So yeah, we get to experience safety and intimacy now and dive into the sacred sexuality. But let's see. Oh, Knight of Roses, romance much? Look at that. So there are love experiences coming up. Punctual, methodical, and with great stamina, the Knight of Roses. With the Knight of Roses, things run like clockwork. The Knight likes to get down to business. A plan of action may even have been made in advance. So the masculines have been planning an intimate expression. They've been preparing. They've been increasing their stamina. They've been working out, I just heard. As an objective-driven individual, they can become overly focused on reaching the climax, foregoing the wild adventure of getting there. They may need a gentle prod to tune into their emotions and inject a little more passion into their action. This is where the feminine nuance and the subtle comes in. You've also been preparing, feminines, to speak truthfully and honor your truth and validate your experience as worthy and equal. So don't be afraid to offer your subtle contributions to this intimate becoming that's about to unfold quickly, with more knowledge in community. What can we see that is an indicator this is happening? The ending of heartache. We are healing the heartache of other options. This is being put down. The choices are being clearly made now. What are we meant to do? Be still and know. Continue taking appropriate action, but don't force anything. Let it unfold naturally. Okay, now that the lawnmower is quiet, I'm going to sign off, but yeah, many blessings, everyone. Looks like a round of unions and union energy approaches. Okay, bye for now.